Welcome everybody. I'm Karen Rowe. I'm Region 2 Colorado Department of Transportation Director, and very proud to be part of this project. It's been really excited. I started in Region 2 as Region Director in August. However, I do live in Colorado Springs and I've been working in Pueblo for 10 years, so I'm very proud of this region and this project. I wanted to thank everyone for joining us here for this groundbreaking ceremony, and hopefully you can be here in 2017 when we have the ribbon cutting ceremony. So it's a pretty fast track project. First, I'd like to recognize our elected officials that have come, and we have several speakers that will be part of our celebration. First, I would like to recognize our El Paso County Commissioners that are here today. We have Amy Lathan, if you could raise your hand. Thank you. Dennis Heisey, Sally Clark, and we have our Colorado Transportation Commissioner for this area, Les Gruen. We have a lot of Colorado Springs City Council people here today. Don Knight, over there. Jill Gabler. Keith King. Merv Bennett, Tom Strand, Larry Bagley, Helen Collins. Thank you. It's nice they're all together there. Nice, good teamwork. And we have Mayor-elect John Suthers for City Colorado Springs. We also have the Mayor of Manitou Springs, Mark Snyder. He's over there. And we have Teller County Commissioner Mark Denton-Reeder. He's back there. Is there any other elected officials that we did not recognize are here today? Oh, good. Okay. We did a good job. Thank you. And we're going to kick things off with a group of students from the Colorado Springs Conservatory under the leadership of Linda Weiss, who's Executive Director. So I'll hand it over to Linda and the students to start us off in a song.
Thank you so much for including the students this morning. As we were talking on our way over here, I said, the cool thing is, guys, that 20 years from now, you'll be driving over this road and you'll say to your kids, we played that gig. And they'll probably roll their eyes and say, shut up, Dad. But you know what? That's kind of cool. So thank you very much. This is an incredible day in history, and we put together just a little medley to hopefully bring a smile to your face. We've got Ricky Jumper, Tim Malloy, Rebecca Ferris, Carolyn Mayberry, and my teammate and CSC alumni, Amber Merrick. Okay. Good clip, right? One, two, go. We encourage clapping.
Almost heaven, Colorado, Pikes Peak Mountain and the Platte River. Life is grand here, life is just a breeze. Looking at the mountain, driving as we please. Country roads, take me home to the place I belong. Colorado, mighty mountain, take me home, country road, take me home, country road, to the place I belong. Colorado, mighty mountain, take me home, country road, take me home, country road, take me home, country roads.
Oh, you don't have to stop clapping. Ready?
If you ever plan to motor west,
Come on, Scott, bring it up.
take my way, it's a highway that's the best. Feeling fine on I-25.
Uh-huh.
It winds from Wyoming to Trinidad. Great views along right glad.
Put this on the website.
Feeling fine on I-25. Go west to the mountains, taking all the sights in downtown Manitou, old Colorado, Bijou, Uinta, Cimarron's down the line. Feeling fine on I-25.
One more time.
Go west to the mountains, taking all the sights in downtown Manitou, old Colorado, Bijou, Uinta, Cimarron's down the line. Feeling fine on I-25. Feeling fine on I-25. Feeling fine on I-25.
Okay, everyone knows this one. You do. This land is your land. Here we go.
This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Island. From the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. As I went walking that ribbon of highway, I saw above me that endless skyway. I saw below me that golden valley. This land was made for you and me. This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Island. From the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. This land was made for you and me.
One more time.
This land was made for you and me.
Jazz hands! Thank you so much for allowing us to be part of this day.
Thank you.
That was some great singing from the Colorado Springs Conservatory. They're located just on the east side here of I-25 along Cimarron. So they're not only part of the community, they're really close and impacted by the project. So it's pretty exciting to have them part of our celebration. I just want to make you aware that even though we're having the groundbreaking here, this will not be impacted by the project. This area, it's down to the south. The project starts at the South Nevada exit and goes up to Colorado Boulevard, pretty much from the concrete to the concrete. And then it'll replace the bridge going over the Fountain Creek, not the new bridge going over the railroad. It'll connect to that. And then it'll go all the way to the west to 8th Street. And we'll have a new leg that connects to 8th Street that will really help that intersection at 24 and 8th Street. So we're pretty excited to replace this interchange. It was built in 1964. It's one of the oldest in our region. And some of the bridges that we're replacing on the projects were built in 1959. So it's well overdue. It was a great interchange for its time. However, our traffic and our design standards have changed. As you notice, there's that curve on I-25 that seems to cause a lot of accidents. That was designed for more like 50 miles per hour, but people are driving at 65. So that will be corrected as part of the project. The whole interstate will shift to the west, and that'll be the first phases of the projects. Will be a lot of stuff offline, and so it won't impact traffic until next March. So this interchange is really needed to improve trail connectivity, replace those aging bridge structures, and improve our connection to 8th Street and Cimarron, which goes to our Woodland Park, Manitou, Cripple Creek, and up into the mountains. It's a very important connection to our corridors to the west, as well as our downtown entrance to the east. I'd like to mention a bit about the funding for this project. This really was a partnership project. The total project cost is $113 million. This was a combination of CDOT funds, which come from the federal and state, some from our faster safety registration fees. It was part of a partnership program where we said, hey, if locals can contribute to some of these projects, we'd be willing to match or contribute even more funds to get these projects going. So El Paso County and the City of Colorado Springs came to the table with some funds, and we were all able to get this project going. And it's been an ongoing effort as construction prices have gone up. We were able to add some additional funds and make sure the project stayed on track. So at this time, I'd like to recognize some of those in that process that made sure we got this project going, as well as kept it continued going with funding. And that's the Pikes Peak Area Council of Governments. We'd like to take a time to thank Executive Director Rob McDonald from Pikes Peak Council of Governments. Also our Transportation Commissioner for this area, Les Gruen. He's finishing 8 years as our Transportation Commissioner in this area, and he was instrumental in making sure this project got awarded and funded from CDOT. We also, City of Colorado Springs, city staff, the City Council, El Paso County Board of Commissioners, El Paso County staff, they were all part of our team, as well as part of the effort to get these funds approved. And we have boards back there that recognize the individuals involved in all these efforts and being on the committees. We'd especially like to thank Sally Clark, as she was a big proponent for the project and really helped support it through the efforts. We also had a lot of community stakeholders that did a great job too as we moved this project forward and really wanted to see it done. This project not only improves safety, capacity, and reduces the impacts to the traveling public, it's aesthetically pleasing and also has a lot of good trail connections. So if you get a chance to look at the boards over there, they're pretty cool. And that was a lot of the goals for the project, was to make sure it was not only just for the highway users, but all our transportation users, which are the pedestrians and the bicyclists too. So like I said, we hope to be here for ribbon cutting in the fall or winter of 2017. At this time though, I'd like to hand this over to our new executive director. He was appointed as the executive director for CDOT in February. He comes from Delaware, where he was cabinet secretary of transportation, and his goal is to make CDOT the best transportation department in the country.
That was a great introduction. I mean, a lot of people go into the background. That was very concise. And my hat's off to Karen as well, because anybody who has to speak after that group is probably facing a tall task. So we have a number of speakers, so I will keep it very brief today. I will say that what an awesome day, what an awesome setting. And, over the weekend I had got, let me take these off so I can, oh man. Wow. Over the weekend I had gone to my mom's house, and, there's a pretty big project. We were in some intense negotiations. So I had calls Friday night. I had calls Saturday. Sunday, we didn't do anything. And Monday, I spent an hour on the phone. And after an hour on the phone on Monday, my mom looked at me and she was like, don't you ever get a day off? I was like, well, I do, just not sort of in day chunks, right? That you pick them. And she kind of shook her head with sort of this look of contempt. And she was like, I think you should get a normal job. And I was like, well, thanks, Mom. That's awesome. But my mom doesn't get to come to events like this. And today, this is the kind of day that in my world is just an awesome day, because we're talking about making a public investment in something that's going to increase safety, that's going to increase connectivity, that is going to help us become the best DOT in the country. And we talked about $100+ million investment. And I'd like to thank whoever arranged for the flyover today. Usually I thought those were just for the Super Bowl, but that's another nice touch. But $110 million, and some people talk about what's government spending. We need to cut government spending. This is not government spending. This is government investment, because we're going to end up with a piece of infrastructure at the end of this investment that is going to be safer for motorists coming through here. It's going to be something that's going to stand up, hopefully, for another at least 50 to 75 years. And the only thing I will call question on is whoever the teacher was, or the lady who was responsible for the students that were here, she said that when they come back 20 years from now and they're driving through here, I don't think that they will be driving 20 years from now. I think that the car will be driving itself, which is probably going to be a safer outcome for everybody, because 33,000 Americans lost their lives on our roads last year, and 90% of those crashes were due to human error. And 20 years from now, I think that you'll be sitting there with your family, but I do agree that the general sentiment will be shut up, Dad. Because I think that is what's coming. So I want to thank the department, and I also want to thank, I see some orange hats, and how many members of Team CDOT are here today? If you're a member of Team CDOT, put your hand up. We can have a round of applause for them. it is a tough job. It is sometimes a thankless job. And I'm sure that while the construction is going on, one person will mutter an epithet towards CDOT because they're stuck in traffic. But it's for the greater good, and it is a tough job. I want to thank Les for his leadership for the last 8 years. We will be sad to see him go. If we could have a round of applause for Les. Without his support and leadership, I don't think that this project, we're at this groundbreaking today. So thank you very much. And then our federal partners, the Federal Highway Administration and John Cater as well. So with that, I will stop talking and thank you very much.
Thanks, Les. Thanks, Shaylin. Now we'll hear from Les Gruen, our Transportation Commissioner.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Shaylin, for those kind words. And Linda Weiss and the Colorado Springs Conservatory, thank you. I heard if anything happened to you guys, the backup plan was Shaylin and I were going to lead a rendition of America the Beautiful, and
Wow.
that would not have been pretty. As my second term as your Transportation Commissioner comes to an end, this groundbreaking event really seems like it brings things full circle for me, because following my appointment by Governor Ritter in November of 2007, I had a total of 3 Transportation Commission meetings under my belt before we celebrated the completion of Cosmics, which was in late 2008. And I was completely clueless when some reporter came up afterwards and asked how soon we were going to finish 3-laning I-25. I remember Rob McDonald of PPACG standing by my side, filling in all the details. And thank you, Rob, for that help 8 years ago. For better or worse, my tenure as a commissioner has coincided with the recent recession, and consequently resources have been very scarce, especially for new construction. Nevertheless, we've done very well, getting a big cut of state transportation dollars in the Pikes Peak region. Shortly after we celebrated Cosmics, we had a ribbon cutting for State Highway 16 down in the Fountain area. We recently commemorated last November the widening of I-25 to 3 lanes to Douglas County line. Improvements at I-25 at Fillmore are currently underway, and improvements along Powers Boulevard are imminent. But today, we celebrate an event that folks have dreamed of for, in some cases, decades. I can't tell you how many people I've spoken to over the years, many of you here today, that said fixing this stretch of highway should be the region's highest transportation priority. And believe me, it took that overwhelming support for us to get to where we are today. Karen gave a lot of accolades to various people, but there are several people no longer with CDOT or not here today that played essential roles in this project's success, and it would be a shame not to recognize their contributions. Don Hunt is one. Shaylin's predecessor is executive director at CDOT. He was a great friend to the Pikes Peak region. Scott Richrath is a name that very few of you will recognize, but Scott was CDOT's chief financial officer, and believe me, Scott played a very critical role in getting this done. Tim Harris, a former regional transportation director that served in Karen's role and then became CDOT's chief engineer, was instrumental. Herman Stockinger, who's a Colorado Springs native who worked for Joel Heffley years ago and now heads up our governmental affairs office at CDOT. Herman does so many things behind the scenes. There's very few of our successes that don't have Herman's fingerprints on them. Wayne Williams, our Secretary of State. This was a very important priority for Wayne, as was transportation. Larry Small, a former councilman, very important to Larry. Larry served in a leadership role on the Pikes Peak Area Council of Government for many years. Finally, I want to thank my Transportation Commission colleagues. Ultimately, it's the 11 transportation commissioners that fund these projects, and believe me, it's not easy to get your hands on $115 million in today's environment. We had unanimous support from the Transportation Commission. Steve Hoffmeister, commissioner from Northeast Colorado, supported this project. If any of you have driven recently in Northeast Colorado, the roads are falling apart up there. We were able to get his support. Kathy Gilliland, the commissioner that represents the Fort Collins area, northern Colorado. That area is choked in traffic. We were able to get their support, as well as the commissioners throughout the rest of the state understood what an important project this was for not only people in the Pikes Peak region, but for people throughout the state. One of the many great things about living in Colorado is that CDOT has our back, and if you don't think so, just ask those people that were affected by the flood in northern Colorado. I can tell you that we in the Pikes Peak region can be very confident over the next couple years that Executive Director Batt, Regional Transportation Director Rowe, Dave Watt, who I see here, and his team in Colorado Springs are going to get the job done of accomplishing our objective of completing this vital transportation enhancement. It's been a pleasure working on this project, and it's going to be exciting to watch it get done. Thank you very much. Karen?
Thank you, Commissioner Gruen. We have a special guest here today, which, again, without FHWA support and approval of our new interchange and helping us through the process, we wouldn't be here. So we have John Cater from the Colorado Federal Highway Administration.
I think we're truly in a multimodal location here. We've got the airplanes, we've got the trains, we've got the highway, we've got the bikes going by, and that's great. That's really kind of highlights the importance of this area and why this project is so important. There's a lot going on here, and it's really challenging to make it all work, but that's the great thing about this project is it is going to make it all work, and it's going to be so much better when we're done. Federal highways, our focus is really a broad one. It's to support state and local governments in the design, construction, and operation of our nation's highways. That's a really broad picture, but to get more specific, we want to improve mobility on our nation's highways through leadership, innovation, and program delivery. And how do you do that? Well, you do it through partnerships. And the partnership we have here on this project is the perfect example of the kind of thing that we need to do in this era with the limited funds to make things happen. We've got CDOT came together with the local governments here and put together, as was alluded to earlier, the necessary funding, some funding from here, some funding from there, put all that funding together, and we came up with $115 million to make this project work. And that's a perfect example of all these interests coming together to make it happen. This wasn't easy. Just on the environmental side, we had an environmental document for the Cosmix project on I-25, and then we had the US 24 corridor. Well, they came together here, and it wasn't as consistent as it might have been, and so had to work through that. There were some challenges there, but we got through that. There's a lot of people with an interest in this area, and so we had to work through all the community people who had an interest, who wanted to have a say in how this turned out. And so again, we worked through that, and we came up with a project that reflects, I think, a very good job of reflecting community values and what the community wants here. Not just what I want from the federal government or what CDOT wants from Denver, but what the Colorado Springs community wants. And so I think we have a great example here. And one thing that they wanted was not just the highway project, but also to look at trails, make sure that the trail connections were still good. And we have a project here that's multimodal. It takes care of the trail as well as the highway. And again, teamwork and partnerships are so critical to making this happen. And from what I've seen on this project, we've got the community interests, the leaders, everybody involved, and that's what makes these things happen. So with that, I just want to thank you all for your involvement, for your participation, for making it happen, for being here to see this the first step in this project, and looking forward to being here for the ribbon cutting in a couple years. So thank you very much.
Thank you, John. John is the head of our Colorado division for FHWA, and his team has really been great and supportive through the process. I'd also like to say the same for El Paso County Commissioner Sally Clark. So please come up and let us know.
Thanks, Karen. Was wondering if this morning, because of my voice, I'd be speechless, but I am speechless because this is a great project that we're moving forward today. You know, this interchange carries the highest volume of traffic in the entire Pikes Peak region, over 100,000 cars per day. And it's important not only for us here in downtown, but for the west side, for Manitou Springs, our partners to the west in up Ute Pass and into Park and Teller counties. Thank you, Commissioner Dettenreiter, for being here today. This partnership and this process has been a really collaborative effort, though. Things happen only because they have to be prioritized through our Council of Governments. And through that process, sometimes important projects have to kind of queue up and wait in line. And it's thanks to all of these folks here today that this was able to move forward. Those of you that were on some of the planning and different teams that helped in this project, could you just raise your hands, because you deserve a round of applause. So raise your hands and thank you. You know, listening to Linda Weiss and the Colorado Springs Conservatory makes us realize that today here, just in using that as the base of what I'm going to say, is we're all on the same sheet of music today. We're singing the same song. We're all saying that this needs to be done, and there's important things to be done at the national level as well. Thank you for being here from FHWA. It's really important. We have that's sitting in the balance long-term funding for transportation through the reauthorization of MAP 21. And while some aren't paying attention to that, projects like this can't get done unless we get the federal dollars to be able to supplement these. So you all need to be involved, because that clock is ticking today and will run out very soon. I want to say too that the process has been a great partnership with the state, and I've been parts of a lot of processes, and this has to be one of the best ones that I've seen in terms of community collaboration. We have incorporated many of the ideas into the design and the consideration to both the west side and the downtown, and looking at long-term redevelopment of Fountain Creek and the beautiful greenway that we have here, incorporating the parks, the intermobility of the different types of, whether it's bicycles or buses, as it was pointed out earlier. It's just really important for us to be part of all that. The county is looking forward to continued collaboration with CDOT. I want to recognize some folks here from our county public services. We have Jennifer Irvin, Jim Reed, and Andre Bracken, and thank you for being here today as well. And my fellow commissioners and those on the PPACG board, that if this hadn't happened, we wouldn't be standing here today. Again, we're all on the same sheet of music, and I look forward to being here, not just today at the groundbreaking, but at the ribbon cutting when we see that in 2017. It takes a long time to complete these projects, and we're anxious to get going. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Commissioner Clark. I'd like to, at this time, introduce the City of Colorado Springs Chief of Staff, Steve Cox, who's here on behalf of the Mayor's Office.
Well, it's my pleasure to be here today, and I always appreciate the opportunity when Mayor Bach's out of town and I get to speak on his behalf and also on the behalf of the citizens of Colorado Springs. And we just want to thank everybody for being here today as we launch this project. And with the wet weather we've had lately, that launch has a new meaning. But nonetheless, we have a beautiful day today, and we're really excited about the collaboration, as Commissioner Clark's talked about that. And I just want to give a shout out, because we know the elected officials, and once that vision is set and you get the money, it's really the staffs of the different organizations that roll up their sleeves and really make the project happen. So I'd just like to give a round of applause to the staffs of all the organizations. And we're fortunate in that there's no other community in the country that could be at the foot of Pikes Peak, America's mountain, and then to be in America the beautiful park. I almost forgot, Karen, sorry. But anyway, we're excited, and we're excited for a lot of reasons, but we think there's going to be an economic component to this. Not only a gateway into other parts of El Paso County and into Manitou Springs, but into the ski resorts, and then also a gateway into our downtown. We just believe that this will be a catalyst for creating excitement into the downtown, and you combine that with the Olympic Museum and then the attachment of the trails and what that'll bring in terms of driver accessibility and then the foot traffic. We're excited, and again, I'd like to thank CDOT for your leadership in carrying this project forward. Commissioner Clark, I know that you've spent many hours on this, and then the staffs of all the organizations. So with that, we just want to say thank you, and thank you for the opportunity to be here today.
Thank you, Steve. Just to let you know, we went through a pretty big process to get the contractor and design team on board for this project. It's called a design build process, where we ask people, contractors and designers, who's interested in proposing on this project, and then they submit their qualifications, and we review all those qualifications of the different teams, and we shortlist to 3 teams. Those 3 teams are given the opportunity to say, what can we do for this project? And they submit pretty big proposals that say, here's what we can deliver, here's the time frame we can deliver it in, and here's the cost we can deliver it in. And we selected a really good, highly qualified team who's having a proven track record in the Colorado Springs area. They did the Academy Woodman Interchange, they did Powers Bridges, 4 different bridges, new bridges on Powers Boulevard, and now they're selected here for Cimarron. They're just finishing up a project also up in Denver on US 6, and we're really excited to have them on board. And that's with Kramer North America is the contractor, and TSH is the design firm. So with that, I will let Dave Zantel, Senior Vice President of Kramer, speak on Kramer's behalf.
Thank you, Karen. They said to speak into the mic. It's quite an honor to be here today, and it's evident the strength of the coalition and the decade or longer of work that came into just helping this project become a reality. So want to congratulate that coalition. On behalf of the Kramer TSH team, we're honored to have been selected by you to now join your team and be the implementing arm to finish the design and construction of the project. So with that said, the members of the Kramer TSH and extended team, would you all raise your hands, please? Thanks. Also want to specifically acknowledge Mark Olson. Mark Olson is our project manager on the job. Send all goods and whatnot to Mark. And Mark comes with extensive experience on projects similar to this, not only in Colorado, but nationwide. So we're excited to support his leadership of the job. This is a great project. I can tell you from a design construction perspective, our team is excited. Karen talked about the process. Our team has actually been working on this job, tracking it for several years and working full-time nonstop for 1.5 years just to support the pursuit, just for the right to be here. So an extensive effort. But the reason why our team is so excited is because of the opportunity to do great things. Not all jobs have so much chance to leave a lasting legacy, and this job has that. When it's done, the I-25 Cimarron Interchange, it will be a fully functional interchange. It will have increased capacity, congestion will be reduced, sight distance appropriate on all the ramps, staging and stacking will be appropriate, so it will enhance safety. The 8th Street Cimarron quadrant improvement there, that's something that the team worked tirelessly on to try and find a solution to be a difference maker on that. And that's going to improve not only that localized ingress egress, but that will have rippling improvements, in terms of operations throughout the broader area. The job's multimodal, as Shaylin mentioned, and we're excited about that. That gives us a chance to be a part of something that's not just one size fits all. So we're excited about that. There's a number of aesthetic improvements and aspects of the job, and that's a neat chance for us to show our craftsmanship and our creativity. So it's got, again, another legacy type perspective, and it also at the end of the day has a couple of bridges, and that's important. And those bridges across Highway 24, US 24, and on I-25, those bridges will be designed to today's standards so that we can assure they have a service life for decades to come. So we're excited about that. So what's in front of us? The job has a really aggressive schedule. One, we've worked with you, listened, to try and make sure that we have a schedule that minimizes impacts and ensures that we can do this job safely, not only for the worker, but for the traveling public. To do that, there'll be some impacts at times. We would ask everybody to hang in there as we work our way through that, but we have a plan that minimizes those impacts. It's not been taken lightly. We're starting now on the table setting activities, right? And so that is utility relocations, some of the early stream and trail work. So we're kind of teeing up the job. We're getting set up. We're completing the design. Again, we've been working on it for a year and a half. So it's not like we're starting from ground zero. Every person on the team knows the job, can come in on day one and get rolling. As we then get going, the job progresses into the heavy civil activities. We'll have walls, earthwork, ramps, the foundations on the bridges, then the superstructures, and it'll all be wrapped up with the surfacing. That follows for the subsequent 18 months following the initial tee-up work. So in closing, I think I'm between us and the water break. So in closing, we'd again like to restate how proud we are to join this coalition and understand the seriousness of the responsibility we've been given in being the delivering arm of the team. And we also are looking forward to standing here and celebrating our combined success together here in the fall of 2017. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Dave. Like he said, we're almost done here, so I don't want to keep us much longer. I do want to say thank you for everyone who came. Thanks for all the community members and the elected officials and city staff and county staff and CDOT team. Thanks to Patrol 69, our CDOT maintenance crew who keeps this highway in good shape and responds when there's accidents. I'd like to say that this project really is a representation of the partnerships we have in this community with CDOT and the county and the cities, and not just the city of Colorado Springs, but the Pikes Peak Area Council of Governments. It's really exciting to see such good partnership, and it's great to be part of that team. Thank you.